Welcome to Video Game Compendium with your hosts Ian and Casey. Today we were talking about video game titles, the good, the bad, the weird. So when you think of video game titles, what one is your absolute favorite?
Alright, this question is a lot easier than the music one. That would have to be Super Robot Taisen, Original Generation Saga, Endless Frontier.
That sounds like the worst name ever.
Man, it's such a good name. I love saying it to completion.
Why? Why is it a good name?
Because it tells you everything that you need to know.
But does a good title necessarily mean you know everything about the game just on the title?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Some games are good, have good titles when you don't know what the title means until you've already sunk a lot of time into the game.
Right. But this kind of tells me literally everything I need to know about the game.
Oh, you don't know jack what that means unless you know the rest of the series, right?
Okay, so Super Robot Taisen. So I'm guessing it's about some robots. Original Generation Saga, meaning it's probably the first in the arcs of the story. Endless Frontier is fucking space, so it's out in space. What else more do I need to know?
You're wrong on all three accounts.
No. I refuse to believe it.
Alright, then what's your favorite?
Let's see, this is a tough question for me. I would probably say, because I'm a fan of a lot, I'm gonna go with The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
You're a huge fan of the game, but why is that the best title? Or your favorite title?
It'd be my favorite title because they... I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't played it.
The game's been out for 8 years.
I don't want to spoil anything for you because you haven't played it.
The game's been out for 8 years.
No, so...
Okay, so from the title, I get there's not very many people left.
Right, it's post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
And I guess it's alluding to that.
Uh-huh.
But the name has a lot more impact once you know the story.
Okay.
And that's why I like it a lot.
So it implies that, to me, that the game is about people and not about zombies. Because if the game was about zombies, it would have zombies in the name.
The Last of Zombies.
So many other zombie games.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Or something like State of Decay, which is not a very good name.
Okay.
In my opinion.
No, I agree. That sounds like a terrible... I don't want to play that game. So when I think of a title that makes me want to play the game, knowing nothing about it, no one can stop Mr. Domino.
But what if someone can't stop Mr. Domino?
I'm going to play and find out.
Oh.
I got to fact check this title.
You haven't fact checked it yet?
No, that's what I'm thinking when I hear the title for the first time.
Oh.
I have played the game. And in fact, a lot of things can stop Mr. Domino, so it's up to you to make sure that he does not encounter those things.
So, no one can stop you from making sure Mr. Domino gets to his final destination.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's a less catchy title in my opinion.
I don't know, I like it. I think it should catch on.
It's not bad.
I also like Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Are you being serious right now?
No.
Okay, thank God.
Alright, so, what other titles, in your opinion, are good, and why?
Okay, so, there's a lot.
A lot?
A lot.
Like how many?
Well, I've been compiling a list for a couple days now, anticipating this episode. So yeah, let's get into it.
That's funny, because I compiled the list in 20 minutes.
I know, I helped you with it. Stretch Panic.
Stretch Panic is a great title.
Right?
Okay, but why? Why do you think it's a great title?
It's unsuspecting. Stretch Panic, okay, that's gonna take me a second to try and guess what the name is about. But the game is about pulling and stretching things. And Panic, because why not? Panic's a common thing to throw into a name. Right?
Or a game. I mean, especially if you're it's kind of, I wouldn't say a high-paced game, but you definitely get the sense of oh shit, I need to do this right now, and I need to pinch this and stretch it out.
I gotta grab it, I gotta pull it, stretch it. But even more, so when I think about the game, and I want to talk about it, I get to say the name, and that's exciting to me. Because the name really encapsulates the energy that you get to experience in the game.
Stretch Panic.
Stretch Panic.
Who is that made by?
Treasure.
Yeah. Okay. They also did
Gunstar Heroes. That's a fun name to say.
Yeah. That's a good name.
That is a good name.
What about, they did Silhouette Mirage though, right?
Silhouette Mirage. That's a good name. Bangai-O. Or no. Yeah, Bangai-O.
That's a bad name.
I love that name.
Okay.
That's the name of the robot.
We can talk about that later.
Okay.
So I like Eternal Sonata.
Okay.
Because it's literally about Chopin chopping
them tunes.
His last, basically, he's on his deathbed and he's having these dreams, and these dreams are what you're playing.
Okay.
And they're like these, it's a fantasy RPG, and they interlace like all the history about what happened at that time and Chopin himself.
Mm-hmm.
And basically at the end, they allude to the fact that his music will live on forever.
Oh, that's the Eternal.
Yeah.
Okay. See, it sounds like a sonata that's going to never end.
And, well, I mean, it kind of is. People still tell the story of Chopin.
Yeah. But the sonata has a final page, is what I'm saying.
But you could play it again, and it keeps going.
So, I mean, then anything's eternal except for a hot dog, because once you eat a hot dog, you can't eat it again.
That's true.
All right.
I mean, you could puke it up and eat it again.
That sounds like... So, that sounds like a deadly premonition.
Come on, dude. That's a cheap pun on a game. Okay, so Deadly Premonition.
Great name.
Great name. Underrated video game.
Definitely.
In general. That game was so good and no one played it, and it was very sad.
Yeah.
That was called something else, wasn't it?
Red Seeds?
Yeah, Red Seeds Profile?
Maybe.
That was in Japan though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to think. I was like, I knew it went by a different name at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game is severely underappreciated. So I guess speaking of Red Seeds Profile, whatever the hell, and Deadly Premonition, Eternal Sonata also had an alternate title in Japan called Trusty Bell.
Okay, that's very different than Eternal Sonata.
And I honestly like Eternal Sonata better than Trusty Bell.
Trusty Bell sounds like a fun game, but not like what Eternal Sonata is.
I could agree with that.
Okay, it sounds like a Twin Bee or Twinkle Star Sprites. Trusty Bell.
Yeah.
Sounds like a more lighthearted game.
Yeah. Well, because wasn't one of the Twin Bee games called Rainbow Bell Adventures?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. So there you go.
Maybe that's where I'm getting that from.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a tangent. I got some games that have different names than they do in America. Okay. Either where they were developed or different localization.
All right.
So I'm gonna say
the English name.
No, I'm gonna say the other name, and you're gonna have to tell me what it's called in English.
Okay.
In the United States.
All right.
Biohazard.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, that one's pretty well known.
Pretty well known, yeah.
Yeah, so Biohazard in Japan only, right? Resident Evil everywhere else?
Yeah. Well, I think in some parts of Asia it was still called Biohazard, but still. Honestly, okay, and on that topic, Biohazard is a better title for the game than Resident Evil.
But it's a better name for the series, but not for the first game. Because the first game, you go into a mansion. Who lives in that mansion? Evil. Biohazard, I mean...
Yeah, but the whole thing, it was a biohazard, like... That was the whole story, is like this biohazard fucking thing got everywhere, started turning people into the and it just... It makes much more sense to call it Biohazard than it would be to call it Resident Evil.
I don't know, because there's a whole umbrella thing, and the way that people try and control the situation. I don't think Biohazard is a good name.
Well, you're also bad.
That's true.
At Resident Evil.
All right, Puckman.
Puckman?
Yeah.
Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They changed the name, apparently, Because they don't want to write Puckman on arcade cabinets.
Yeah, because someone could scratch it out and it would say, fuck, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually knew that one.
Yeah, that one's also kind of well known. What about Gryzor?
Gryzor?
I think I'm saying it right. Gryzor. Gryzor.
Gryzor. I don't know.
Contra.
What the fuck?
This one, I am unable to figure out why they call it Gryzor in Europe.
In Europe?
In Europe, they call it Gryzor. Because Contra, as far as I know, doesn't have an actual meaning.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I'm going to go ahead and make fun of the Brits again for this one. You fucking bloody wankers.
Oh, get that checked out. Ghost Babel.
Ghost Babel. Well,
Babel.
Ghost Babel is technically one of the Metal Gear Solid spin-off series, kind of. It was for Game Boy.
I thought the initial game was called Ghost Babel.
No.
Oh,
was
really?
it? I don't think so.
Okay, so what I saw, Metal Gear Solid is called Ghost Babel. In Japan.
I didn't realize that because all the subsequent ones were called Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
So that might be true, but I know that Ghost Babel is the Game Boy Advance one or Game Boy Color one.
Okay.
And it was actually called Metal Gear Ghost Babel.
Okay.
So.
Okay, maybe they just changed this Ghost Babel to Solid outside of Japan.
It could be.
So it could be Metal Gear Ghost Babel. Metal Gear Solid outside of Japan. I should have done more research on that one. Okay, so this is the subtitle for a game.
Okay.
So in France, it was called Mortal Kombat Mystification.
I didn't know that they changed it for any of them.
So there's a Mortal Kombat with a subtitle released in the States that wasn't called Mystification.
There wasn't ever because there was Mortal Kombat 4 Gold, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Is it a later one?
It was on the PS2, if that helps.
I have no clue then because I didn't pay attention to Mortal Kombat after Gold.
Okay, so it was Mortal Kombat Deception.
Oh, yes.
But Deception in French translates to disappointment, which would have been a pretty accurate name for the game.
No, you're not wrong.
But I guess good foresight on that from them, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Is that a question?
I don't know how to phrase it as a question.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I'm assuming for the NES?
No, just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles across the board in Europe was renamed to Hero Turtles.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, ninja is too violent of a word for Europe.
Okay, so hold on. Let's get this straight here. The original comics for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm going to go off on a tangent about turtles because I love them.
I know you do.
It was extremely violent.
Uh-huh.
And, they're blowing up Shredder with a grenade. They're shooting gangsters with guns who are trying to steal, gold statues. They were straight up thugs.
Yeah.
And to try and de-violentize that is just so stupid.
But that's exactly what they did when they did with the cartoon, and I guess the games are based on the cartoon, not the comic.
Right.
So they did de-violence the series when they made it, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that most people know. But yeah.
So note to any developers: make a game based off the comic because that would be badass.
That would be pretty legit.
All right.
So on that same thread, this game was renamed Shadow Warriors.
Shadow Warriors?
Shadow Warriors.
There's already a game called Shadow Warrior.
Yeah.
What game?
Ninja Gaiden.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because where at?
No, so this is, again, with Ninja in the title, they renamed it to Shadow Warriors.
So this is Europe?
Yeah.
Man, fuck you, Europe. You guys are so terrible.
Yeah, and there's been a couple games called Shadow Warrior released here. We talked about one of them last week, right?
Yeah. You're killing me with this because I was thinking there's a game called Shadow of the Ninja.
Okay.
For NES. And I was like, are you sure you're not thinking of that?
No. I'll put the source up, but yeah, apparently Ninja Gaiden is renamed Shadow Warriors.
Have you played the game Ikari Warriors?
Yes.
That was a great game.
That was a great game.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a while. That is a good game. Triforce of the Gods.
Oh, Legend of Zelda.
Which one?
Probably Link to the Past.
Yep.
That would make the most sense.
Yeah. Because of what happens in the game? You think Triforce of the Gods is A Link to the Past?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and the cover art for Japan for that game was a billion times better than ours.
No surprise.
Ours was like this shit, like obviously like the Zelda logo.
Yeah.
And it was just like brown.
Get some brown.
The cover art for the Japanese one and the label art was the Master Sword on a pedestal and it was all green.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, shit was badass. And it's like, come on, how are you gonna ruin that? Like, that was such a good art.
Yeah, we got the shaft on that.
We, in a later episode, should talk about video game cover art and how it changes from different...
re-release or different regions and stuff. All right, yeah, we can do that. We'll put it on the list.
That's a note to you guys. You'll know what a future episode is.
Heads up. All right. So this game I really enjoy. It was originally called Solomon's Key 2 Cool Mint Rescue Mission in Japan where it was developed.
Which was... It wasn't that Zora's...
No, I don't know what that is.
Then was it Fire and Ice?
Yes, it was Fire and Ice.
Okay.
Man, that game's so good.
Yeah.
For a puzzle game on the NES, it's incredible.
That's pretty good.
God, I love that game.
It's a long-ass title.
It is. Cool Mint Rescue Mission is kind of funny to me.
Cool Mint Rescue Mission.
Yeah. But, so I can see dropping Solomon's Key 2 because it was nothing like Solomon's Key.
Yeah.
Fire and Ice. It makes sense. You got fire, you got ice.
I'm not sure if that's how that makes sense.
I mean, N means and. You know that, right?
N means and?
Yeah. And.
And?
So when they say fire and ice, they mean fire and ice.
Dang. I did not realize.
Mind blown.
Yeah, okay.
Can't unlearn.
Get out of here.
No, I'm sure you've never heard of this one. Doki Doki Panic.
Mario 2.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and actually they were completely different games.
Really?
Well, okay, not completely different, but Doki Doki Panic only had one character, basically.
Oh.
That you could play. You couldn't pick between levels. And so it was a very different game than Mario 2 was.
So they didn't just change the sprites, they actually changed the gameplay a little bit?
Yeah.
Give you some more options?
The speedrun is very similar, but it's definitely a different game.
Okay. Rockman.
Mega Man.
Mega Man versus Rockman?
Mega Man's a better one.
Mega Man is way better.
Because the dude can absorb powers from other beings. He's a fucking Mega Man. He's like, I am the Mega Man. But the other dude is like, I'm Rockman.
I'm Rock, man.
You're a fucking rock. Like,
rocks don't absorb powers from things they kill. Megas do.
We should actually look into why it was called Rockman at some point.
Yeah,
but
or if anybody else wants to do that on their own.
The title itself, I feel like Mega Man is a better title than Rockman is.
Way better.
Yeah.
So they still call it Rockman in Japan, though, right? To this day.
Yep.
That's too bad.
Scrubs.
All right. End of Eternity.
Was that...
That's the Japanese name.
It was that 360 game.
It was on PS3 as well.
Was it?
Yeah. I love this game. I've talked about this game.
I know. I can picture it. It's got like the person on the front with the gun or something.
It's got 3 people.
And they're like jumping. And Resonance of Fate.
That's the one.
Yeah.
God, I love that game.
Yeah, I knew I could picture it in my head because I was like, I've seen the Japanese cover of it. So I could picture it in my head, but I was like, what is it called in American?
Resonance of Fate, not a terrible name. End of Eternity, I think, is a better name.
Yeah.
Neither one of which really get to the core of the game. But it alludes to something along the same lines.
I feel like... Hold on. Let me look something up real fast.
Okay.
You can go ahead and name off some more of your favorite...
All right, so I have one more game
Oh, okay.
that has a different name where it was developed.
What's that?
It is Top Secret, subtitle Hitler's Resurrection.
Top Secret, Hitler's Resurrection.
I didn't know this until I started looking up these.
Is it like a Call of Duty game?
No.
Wolfenstein?
No.
Am I even on the right track?
It's an arcade game.
Operation Darkness?
Nope.
I don't think that's an arcade game.
I don't think it is either.
I don't know.
It was developed by Capcom.
I still don't know.
Bionic Commando.
What the fuck? Dude.
Isn't that incredible?
I don't know if incredible is the right word for it, but it's pretty good.
I mean, I wonder why they changed the name. Because I feel like Top Secret Hitler's Resurrection. I mean, you're gonna move titles like that.
I feel like, did Dead Rising have a different title?
Maybe? I don't know.
I don't see anything. Maybe I'm wrong. I could have swore there was that was named something different, but I'm probably just dumb.
You're probably just dumb. No, I don't know. It sounds like something that would have happened.
Well, because it's Capcom.
Yeah.
Apparently they rename all their fucking games.
Right?
All right. So, okay, back to good titles, like titles that stick out to you. Well, actually, here, let me hit you with one.
Yeah, give me one.
World of Warcraft.
That is a good name.
Because it completely encompasses everything about the game.
Yeah.
It is literally the World of Warcraft. It's a perfect title for it.
So you're talking about the MMO.
Yeah.
But wasn't World of Warcraft just the RTS single-player campaign game?
No, Warcraft was.
Oh, okay.
Which is why I feel like World of Warcraft is perfect.
Then I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah, World of Warcraft.
Super good.
Super good. World of Tanks? Not a good name.
Not quite as good. Oh! Speaking of tanks, how do you feel about Tank?
Tank? Give me some Tank. What's the game about?
Tanks.
Tank.
Or mini tanks?
What are you? A tank. What do you shoot? A tank. What do you shoot it with? The tank. Tank.
Dude, who made that one? Probably Namco.
I think so. If you can find it in an arcade, go play it. It's so much fun.
Tank. All right.
Classic, amazing name. Metroid.
That is classic.
It's a made-up word?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like Android and Metal or something.
But the Metroids are actually something in the game.
Yeah.
That you fight.
Yeah.
The little hook thingies.
Oh, I know. I'm very familiar. They're adorable.
They look like
cuddly little creatures.
Okay.
I love them. I would own one as a pet.
You know what has cuddly little creatures? Half-Life.
Half-Life, that is a really good name.
Yeah.
People love saying it. People love the game.
Because they got the cuddly creatures that jump at you.
Yeah, the ones that give you the hugs on the face.
Yeah.
They kind of look like bread.
Bread?
Like if you really mess up a loaf of bread, I feel like it looks like those.
Okay, speaking of bread, have you heard of the game I Am Bread?
Yes.
That's a terrible... Like, the name's okay because it makes sense.
Mean, the name, yeah, give the name its credit.
But what the hell?
Your bread.
Portal. Along the same lines as Half-Life, Portal is a great name.
That is a great name.
It is literally the entire function, gameplay element, everything about the game.
The appeal.
Portal.
You
say Portal and people get hype.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a good title.
That's true. What's another hype name? Hype name game.
Shin
Megami Tensei?
No, but I love that title.
It's so good.
It is good.
Yeah.
And the reason I think it's good is because it literally translates to rebirth of the
true goddess
or new goddess, depending on who you ask.
Well, okay, so tangent a little bit. So the book that it's based off of was Megami Tensei, which is
just rebirth of the goddess.
Yeah, goddess rebirth. And then Shin, because they basically took the game that was good, but threw away a lot of... Well, I mean, they didn't stick to the book that much in the first place.
Right.
But they totally threw that out and were like, let's just do technology demon summoning, and we're going to call it Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
It is amazing.
So much fun to say.
I love it. Another title that gets me hype as hell. Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage?
Streets of Rage.
What's going on in the streets?
They're fucking raging.
They are raging.
Dude, and you are raging with everyone, you punching people.
Yeah. Who's raging more? It's hard to say.
I don't know.
But people are getting punched.
You know, you hit them with the da-da-das. And yeah, It's just a good time.
Oh, that is, yeah. It's
a
fun.
solid name.
It's a solid name.
Solid name.
Toe Jam and Earl.
Is hilarious. It's self-aware of the fact that it's a funny title because they obviously play into that in the game.
Yeah.
But it's also the name of the characters, which makes perfect sense.
It does.
I could go on a tangent about...
By all means.
Okay,
We're nothing but tangents.
So playing Toe Jam and Earl for the first time, I was like, what the hell is this, like, weird platforming... It's actually kind of difficult.
It is difficult
at some parts.
So, to explain people who actually may not have played it, you're two aliens, Toe Jam and Earl, hence the name. And you crash land. Your dope spaceship basically explodes, and you got to walk the Earth to try and find the parts.
Yeah,
and you encounter people and things on Earth that are pretty bizarre for an alien. So it kind of flips that Close Encounters type situation, and you're these aliens trying to find your spaceship parts so you can get the hell off this planet full of crazy people.
Well, I mean, I would want to get off this planet full of crazy people.
If you had a dope spaceship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who would you be?
I was typically Toe Jam.
He's cooler.
Well, I liked Earl more, but my older brother played Earl.
Oh. So you got the
He
shaft.
probably played Earl just because I liked Earl more.
What a bitch. Tell your brother to listen to this one and tell him I called him a bitch.
Pass.
So, wait, how do you feel about when they name the game the characters?
Title, yeah. So it makes sense, I think, for mascot games like Sonic, Mario, Wario. What do you think?
It depends. And sometimes, like, it's okay, in my opinion, to name it that way. But I don't feel like it's always necessary.
No, that would be boring as hell if you go to the game store and you're like...
Marcus Phoenix.
Let me get that
Kratos.
Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah, let me buy Kratos. Which God of War is a great title.
God of War, not a terrible title.
I think it's good. It makes sense in the context of the game.
I guess. Gears of War also makes sense, but I always accidentally say the other one.
I don't like Gears of War as a title as much, though.
But you're a
cog
in the gear of the machine.
Yeah.
War.
Yeah, they have some deep philosophical meaning behind Gears of War, but no one really cares about that.
Yeah, no, that's lost. The PS2 had an era where there were a lot of games.
They had 1 million mascot games.
Yeah, so many.
1 million.
Uh-huh.
A trillion. A quintillion.
Yeah.
A septillion.
Like 20.
It might have actually been like, probably only like 5.
Yeah. But they kept popping them out with subtitles.
Ratchet and Clank.
And Ratchet and Clank, the other one.
And what? Are you talking about Jak and Daxter?
Yes.
Jak and Daxter.
Jak and Daxter.
And then
Sly Cooper.
Uh-huh. And then Spyro was still a thing.
Spyro, yeah.
And then Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot was still going strong.
It was dying down, but it was getting there.
It was, yeah.
Because Twinsanity kind of sucked.
Yeah, no, PS2 was not the era of Crash Bandicoot.
No.
We can all agree on that.
Yeah. Then, like, they almost continued it with the PS4, because they're, like, the flagship game that they were really trying to push at first was Knack.
God, don't even say that name.
Knack.
Knack?
Knack.
Knack.
It's Knack.
Yeah, but isn't Knack the bad guy?
No, Knack is the big monster made out of I guess he's not a monster. He's made out of all the ancient parts.
Yeah.
And he kind of like falls apart and then he can reassemble. If you could see me, I'm flailing my arms around like an idiot, so I kind of...
Yeah, you look like an ancient creature right now, for sure. But, so Knack is also a word that isn't a noun.
Yeah, I have a knack for vocabulary. See, I used it in a sentence.
You did. I think you mean in a lie. But but does the game play into that pun option that it has?
No.
Okay, well, then it's a bad title.
At least I don't remember. I actually beat that game.
Why? Wasn't it
garbage?
It was
okay. Like, a solid 6 out of 10.
Solid 6.
Solid 6.
Not like...
Meaning it's a soft 7, but
don't even put
solid
7
6
near that game.
Oh... But, okay, so...
It was a try-hard 5, is what you're trying to say.
So they had tons of other, like, mascot-type games, like, because there was Bubsy.
Bubsy?
Which is the best game ever.
Bubsy.
Talk shit about Bubsy and I'll hit you.
Bubsy. I love Bubsy.
Okay.
Actually, my brother gave me a copy of that game for the Genesis recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
But different brother, not the one who played Earl. Different brother.
And then the Wii tried to have their own like little mascot puzzle game.
Yeah, how did that go?
Well, it was called Zack and Wiki.
And it was a one-off, right?
Yeah. It was a great game, though.
Yeah.
That was the problem, is it was a great game, but they just didn't push it hard enough for that game to be any good.
It was kind of like, we already have a Zelda. Let's just keep making Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Like,
I liked the world. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. The aesthetics of that game were great, and it really had pretty much everything you'd want in a game. It just, they did not push it hard enough to make a sequel or anything.
Yeah, I don't get it.
My favorite named after
the main character.
Yeah, Duke Nukem.
Okay, I thought you were gonna go with a different one, but all right, Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem. Just because Duke Nukem is so ridiculous, and his name is fucking Duke Nukem.
That character would not allow a game to be made of him that wasn't named Duke Nukem, right?
Right.
Like, you can't put him in Mutant Killer 4 with your main character Duke Nukem. Like, it has to just be Duke Nukem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, time to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
And I'm all out of ass? Shit, I fucked that up.
But they also had a couple other games that have the title.
Yeah, see, I thought you were going to talk about Alan Wake.
Alan Wake is a great game.
It's a solid game.
Very good.
But the name Alan Wake, yeah, it is about Alan Wake.
Yeah.
But the name does not tell me anything.
Yeah.
They did market it pretty well, though.
They did, yeah.
A lot of people knew what that game was about.
It's just, I wish it sold better, because I really would have loved to see a sequel. Well, honestly, they need a sequel, but I would have loved to see a sequel for it because the story's not technically complete.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever finished it.
No, the gameplay wasn't that fun for me, if I'm being honest. So Bayonetta...
It's the worst name for a character.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why?
Does she have a bayonet?
Does Alan wake?
Does Alan Wake what? Wake up? Yes, he does.
Are you sure?
Yeah. He sleeps and he wakes up. Alan Wake makes sense. Okay. Bayonetta, she doesn't have a bayonet.
She says, well, yeah, she is a bayonet. She's guns.
Those aren't bayonets.
Yeah, well, if you're using the bayonet...
You were going to ask me about Duke Nukem. Does Duke actually nuke him?
He does.
He does nuke him.
Does Cuphead have a cup for a head?
Yes.
That's true. Does
Sonic gotta go fast? Yes.
Does Knack? No, we've already been over that. All right.
Knack has a knack for being bad.
I thought you said it was a soft 7.
Hey.
Oh my god.
What about Shantae?
Shantae, I didn't play that game for the longest time because I hated the title. Same goes for the Gianna Sisters games.
Oh, dude, the Gianna Sister games are awesome. It's basically Mario.
I know, but I'm staying away because the art, the album, or the cover art looks bad. The name is bad. I just stayed away.
You missed out.
I got into them eventually. Valdis Story is another one. The name, I was like, I'm gonna stay away. I don't like this.
Yeah, that's a terrible name.
But the game is so good.
Yeah, some of the characters in that game have the worst names ever.
Oh, yeah.
Shadow Boxer.
Well, okay, so you know the story behind
and
that.
I'm sorry to whoever named him Shadow Boxer. Like, I'm glad you have an online name like that, but that's a terrible name for a character. Come on, dude.
And thank you for supporting the game being developed so we could play
it. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Valdis Story was one of those terrible titles, but great game.
Super, super good game.
So, I mean, we've been talking a lot about good titles. Why don't we hit some bad ones up?
All right, let's hit some bad ones.
The worst one I can think of.
Uh-huh.
What do you think?
The worst one you can think of?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jammer Lammy.
Really? Okay, so that's on my list of bad names.
That's like my shit list for game titles ever.
I wanted to play that game when I was a kid.
Yeah, because
so I was
did you play Parappa the Rapper first? Awesome name.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't own it.
But you played it.
I played it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is like Parappa the Rapper. I want this. And so I told my parents, this is the game that I want. And they're like, what the fuck is an Jammer Lammy? This looks... I mean, they were basically concerned that it looked like a girl's game, and I was a boy.
Oh, no. Watch out for that.
This was a long time ago.
I played Barbie Horse Adventure, bro.
Barbie Horse Adventure?
Yeah.
Wow.
No. Okay, so Jammer Lammy is shit, because it just...
She is jamming, and she is a lammin', but she's I guess because she is kind of nervous and insecure. It's an accurate name, but it's a bad name.
It's just a bad name. But like Parappa the Rapper, yo, you know what he's all about.
Yeah.
He's about cut the lettuce, don't forget the cheese.
Cut the lettuce, don't forget the cheese.
Exactly. That's Parappa the Rapper. And it's like, that's a legit name. Jammerlammy, shit name.
It is a bad name. It's too bad. N+, bad name.
Pretty bad name.
Pretty bad game. I don't like that game.
I like the game. Well, it came out as N first.
Yeah.
And then N+ was like an expansion pack type thing. It had the original game, but it was like still kind of a shit title.
N++ is out as well.
Mega shit title. Come on. You couldn't think of anything better? You should have done like N+-. Like, come on. That would have been better than N++.
Or M. That comes after N. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Wow.
All right.
Do we need to go through the alphabet? A, B, C.
Watching that David Lynch alphabet is, I guess, destroyed my concept of the alphabet.
My mind is now warped because of David Lynch. Okay, another terrible, terrible fucking title for a game.
Uh-huh.
Balls.
Okay, that's pretty bad. With a Z.
With a Z.
Balls with a Z.
Balls with a Z. It's not like worse? Dragon Ball Z. It's just balls.
Yeah.
What's worse?
Any of the Kingdom Hearts games.
Oh, no.
Birth by Sleep.
Okay, the subtitles, yes. Just Kingdom Hearts as a title.
Dream Drop Dissonance.
Kingdom Hearts as a title, though.
Why do they gotta keep screwing with it? Because 358 over 2 days.
358 over 2 days, but
it's 358 divided by 2 capital days.
But it's pronounced 358 over 2.
Well, that doesn't make any
3D
sense.
3D Dream Drop Distance. 3D Dream Drop Distance. You get it? There's 3Ds.
Yeah.
3D.
Yeah.
It was a 3D game. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
D4, Dark Dreams Don't Die.
That's a pretty bad title.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. But Kingdom Hearts as a title by itself, Kingdom Hearts as a name, is a decent name.
I'll give it that.
But yeah, their subtitles are pretty...
It's so bad.
They're pretty out there.
No, they're just...
They don't do it any favors. No. How about that?
Speaking of not doing a game favors, if you're going to call your name Dissidia, maybe not name the sequel Dissidia 012 Duodecim.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I think so.
Oh. Isn't there a U at the end? Decium? I thought it was Duodecium.
I thought it was Duodecim. Well, one of us is wrong. It's up for the internet to determine which one of us that is.
No, I need to be right.
All right. What about VVVVVV? How many did I say? V. That's why it's a bad name.
Yeah, it looks like you're right.
All right, thank you.
It's Duodecim.
VVVVVV. Because I like that game. And you're counting on your fingers right now to make sure you said it right. But I can't say the name of the game.
V6 times.
No, that's not the name.
Is it?
No. It looks more like a jagged, squiggly line.
I think that was the point.
Well, also the 6 characters in the game all start with the letter V.
VVVVV, video game.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Bravely Default? What do you think?
Bad name.
It is, but I like the name.
What? Okay, the sequel.
Bravely Second?
What the fuck kind of name is that? Are you serious?
I like it, but at the same time, it's not a good name.
So, this doesn't say anything about how to say the name.
Yeah.
It just says VVVVVV.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got a good soundtrack, though.
Oh, it's a banging soundtrack.
It's banging. One really bad game title.
Uh-huh.
Chili Con Carnage.
Yeah.
What the hell were they thinking?
I don't know. They're probably thinking chili con queso, and then they kind of made a pun.
Yeah, God, it's so bad though. You think when I think of Chili Con Carnage, I'm like, yeah, wow, that's a game I never want to fucking play.
It kind of makes me hungry because I like chili.
What about Guacamelee?
That's a great name.
That is a great name.
I don't like guacamole, but I like the name Guacamelee.
Oh, so you don't eat guacamole toast? Or no, that's avocado toast.
What?
You can afford a house because you don't eat avocado toast.
I don't follow, but I'll take your word for it.
There's one person who will listen to this and get that reference.
Well, there's only 2 people who are going to listen to this anyway.
Oh. Okay, bad names across the board for this game series. Hyperdimension Neptunia.
No.
Yes, the worst one, Hyperdimension Neptunia, Rebirth 2, Sisters Generation.
You said it wrong. It's Birth 2. No space.
They can suck it. I'm not about to try and pronounce all their million of different...
Mark V2, Noir versus Zombies. So the first game, Hyperdimension Neptunia, I was really excited for because I liked the name. I bought the game for the name. But then they just went off the rails. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, one that we had talked about that I did not really like, but you did, was Danganronpa.
Danganronpa? I love saying it. Say it.
Danganronpa.
Danganronpa.
I don't mind saying it. It's just like, I don't get it. There might be a translation thing or some like thing that I don't understand.
Yeah, so the trailer for the original game, I think there was like a hint of a subtitle that said Shooty Refuty.
Well, it changed to Trigger Happy Havoc.
Oh, yeah.
Which is an awesome subtitle.
It is, but that sort of betrays the truth that lies in Danganronpa, which means bullet refutal, because you use bullets to refute lies.
Oh,
when you're trying to get
is that what Danganronpa means?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that I know what it means, the name makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, so it's kind of like finding the truth with a bullet.
Which is what you do.
Yeah.
But the reason it was called Trigger Happy Havoc is because people were dying and Monokuma.
Yeah, Trigger Happy Havoc sounds like a twin stick shooter.
That sounds like... Dude. Dude. You should make a Danganronpa character-based game, but twin stick shooter.
Well, when you navigate Danganronpa, it's kind of like Doom-ish.
It's first person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're like moving around, and it's kind of like Doom. And it would be cool to just like Doom it out.
So, devs...
Shoot all the
Momokumas?
Yeah. Monokumas?
Momokumas? Monokuma?
Whichever one. Both of them. I mean, it's Havoc. Trigger Happy.
So, to the developers, go ahead and make that game. And you don't have to, cite us as the source. But, twin stick shooter with the characters. Yeah, I'd buy it.
Yep. 2 sales. Right there.
Guaranteed 2 sales already.
Full price. I won't even wait for it to go on sale.
$60 total.
That's $120.
That we would be paying.
Yep. So Doom's a good name.
Doom is a pretty good name.
I like that name.
Especially because, like, the content of the game, it makes perfect sense.
It's straightforward, simple. Yeah, it's like the game.
Yeah. You know what is a bad name, though?
What?
Final Fantasy.
Why? Because there's 100 of them?
It was never the Final Fantasy. Though, do you know the history behind it?
I've heard a rumor or a lore.
The company was going bankrupt, and so they decided to make
a final game.
It was the Final Fantasy.
And they fantasized about it being good?
And it was good, apparently, because people bought it, and they made Final Fantasy 2, and then Final Fantasy 3.
And then... Which
was, if you got the American Final Fantasy 3, it was actually Final Fantasy 4, which exists. And then there was Final Fantasy 5.
Okay. And then...
Final Fantasy 6.
I'm noticing a pattern.
And then Final Fantasy 7.
I've heard of that one.
And then there was 8.
The best one?
Oh, 9. 10. 10-2.
Oh. Okay. Wow. See, I thought you were going a different way with it.
They got clever with their shit.
Yeah.
But then they made Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
I get that at this point now the lore is so thick, molasses thick here.
Yeah.
So, like, they have to keep going with it, but come on. It's a bad title. Through and through.
Yeah, I guess.
You're a hater.
So it's Final Fantasy 1 subtitle, Crystal Chronicles.
No, it's just Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
That's my point. Contact. Great name. Great name?
Contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're contacting.
It's
such a good game.
Hello.
I am controlling a boy. Would you control him for me?
Bad name, .hack.
Yes.
I get why they call it that, but it's a bad name.
That's true. The .com was already taken. They didn't want to go .net. Tactics Ogre.
That's a pretty solid name.
Yeah.
Especially because
ogres are not typically tactful.
Sure.
So it makes you think.
Anyway.
All right, what are you going to say?
It's based on the Ogre series, but it's a tactics game.
Yeah.
Which was legit.
Yeah.
Bad name. Controversial name. MDK.
Murder, Death, Kill.
Is that really what it stands for?
Yeah.
That's the fucking worst.
But they don't say it in the name. and it's like the developers decided that that's what it stood for, but there's like on record or canon, I guess, it's never said that that's what it stands for.
Yeah, well, it's a terrible name either way. MDK.
You murder. There's nukes.
Nukes.
Yeah. Instead of using keys to open doors, you use tiny atomic bombs or nuclear bombs.
It's still a bad name. Here's a controversial one that people might disagree. I love this game, by the way. Okay. Don't get me wrong. This is one of my favorite games of all time.
Okay.
But I think it has a bad title.
What's that?
BioShock.
That's the worst title.
It's a bad title.
Yeah.
Game is amazing.
Game's pretty good.
Game is amazing. And I get where they were going with the whole BioShock thing. Mm-hmm. I don't like it as a title. Honestly, they should have called it Atlas Shrugged the Game. It would have been pretty much the exact same concept, except without...
Atlas Shrugged again? Atlas infinitely shrugging?
I don't know.
Long names. Are you a fan?
It depends. Some long names are okay. Like, I'm like, okay, that was a clever long name, or it was, like, justified. But most of them I'm not big on. I'm
almost universally a fan of long names.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron.
You pronounced it wrong, though. It's actually not El Shaddai.
How do you say it?
I don't know. It's like something.
Well, El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron is a good name.
It's a solid name.
ZHP Unlosing Ranger versus Dark Death Evil Man.
How about we don't say that?
It's a good name.
It's not.
It tells me what the game's about. If it wasn't for this title, you and I probably would not be friends today.
Which title?
Guilty Gear XX Sharp Reload, The Midnight Carnival.
Yeah, because we played a lot of Guilty Gear.
So I picked this game up just because of the name. And it looked kind of anime-ish. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to see what this is about.
El Shaddai.
Okay, thanks, phone. So that's 2 against 1, Casey. Sorry, man. You're wrong.
El Shaddai.
Oh, sorry.
El
Shaddai.
I'm confused.
Alright, well, I was about to go into this, emotional story about our friendship, but if you want to look at your phone, go ahead.
You know what? El Shaddai is also a game that
is deep, deep into our friendship.
Yes.
Oh, man. But yeah, so Guilty Gear, XX, Sharp Reload, The Midnight Carnival. Amazing name.
Accent Core Plus.
Accent Core Plus is also a good name.
Yeah.
It's no Sharp Reload, The Midnight Carnival, though.
While we're talking about this, we spent the time to find the longest game title that we could.
Yep.
And I'm going to read it to you.
Yeah.
It's called...
Wait, so this is the English translation?
Yeah, okay, this is the English translation of the Japanese that I cannot speak.
You're reading this for the first time, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Summer-colored high school star, adolescent record. A summer at school on an island where I contemplate how the first day after I transferred, I ran into a childhood friend and was forced to join the journalism club where while my days as a paparazzi kid with great scoops made me rather popular among the girls, but strangely my camera is full of panty shots and where my candid romance is going.
Okay, so that was a roller coaster. Everything before the star, generic.
Summer-colored high school. Great title.
Adolescent record, okay, you have my attention.
No, see, here's how it goes. Summer-colored high school. That's an okay title for like a high school sim. Star, adolescent record.
Okay, now we're in some serious weed territory.
But then you hit with a summer at school on an island where I contemplate how the first day after I
Okay, so a summer at school on an island. Okay, I like this. This is going up. We're still clinking along, going up the roller coaster.
Ching, 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 ching.
Where and then it's just an abysmal for like 3 whole sentences.
Until you get to the... But, strangely, my camera is full of panty shots and where my candid romance is going.
See, that's where it caught me.
Dude,
sold.
That's how you know that game is so legit.
Sold. Something about journalism. Okay, a paparazzi kid with great scoops. I like the great scoops.
Yeah.
This is not a humble person.
Scoops Häagen-Dazs.
Angles. Made me rather popular among the girls. Okay, I don't care. At this point, just stop talking.
Right.
But... But strangely, my camera is full of panty shots.
Dude.
My ears are perked.
I run into that issue all the time. Just panty shots everywhere. It's of me, but... what?
So it could be, but unfortunately my camera is full. But he says, but strangely, as if he doesn't understand how, why, or when his camera became full of these images.
You know, I have that problem frequently.
So I'm interested. I gotta figure this one out.
There's another game that's like super wild called Super Gaydelic Hour.
Okay.
For PS2. Just kind of a wild name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why this reminded me of that. But, so that was the longest one that we could find. The shortest ones...
Okay, so the shortest one I could think of was D2.
Which was funny because I was like, so D.
D2 is the sequel to D, which I didn't know.
And if you don't know, D stands for Dracula.
Uh-huh.
But then there's also like N.
We talk about N+.
Yeah, N+, and N is the original game.
Yeah. Again, I didn't know about D or N, but I knew D2 and N+.
And then apparently we found that there's this game called 9 that neither of us have ever heard of.
The number 9 is the official title.
It's not N-I-N-E, it's just 9. So those would be the shortest games that we could find the titles for, aka one-letter games.
So take that home. Put that trivia in your pocket.
Boop! What about 999?
999?
What do you think about that title?
Well, it's 9 doors, 9 people, 9 hours, right?
Right.
Okay.
It's kind of a wild ride.
It is a wild ride.
The title is a wild ride.
The story's a wild ride.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, it fits. I like it. Do you have anything else up your sleeve?
I mean, I think we covered most of like the ones that I wanted to go over. So if you have a couple more, hit me.
Okay, I'll list off a couple. Let me get your reaction to R. Tenelico Koga Nel of Arciel.
I'm good on that. Like, I don't want that in my life.
You don't?
I have some of the R. Tenelico games, but that one is just like, really?
So, Nel of Arciel. Arciel is the universe or the world in which R. Tenelico takes place, right?
Yeah.
Nel is apparently, I didn't know this, but it's the ringing of a bell, typically at like a funeral service.
Oh.
So it's like the end, like the final
of that series.
Yeah, so it's the end of the series and it's the last of the thing.
Gotcha.
So I like that one. It's also fun to say. Conception.
Well, there was a subtitle to that, wasn't there? Conception?
Well, there's Conception 2. The
oh,
DS one.
yeah. Okay. I mean, that's a wild title anyway.
Yeah, but it's accurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does play to the uniqueness of the game, which is good. Rogue Legacy. You like that one?
Yeah, great title. It makes perfect sense. Like, it's a pun on top of that. So, it's great.
So good.
Oh, one I wanted to mention, actually, Okami is a great title. And here's why. Because it's a pun in Japanese.
Oh, this is where they use different kanji to make like a second meaning?
Well, so Okami typically could mean wolf, but it's spelled slightly differently.
Okay.
But Okami also means God.
Oh.
So like, I think it's Ookami means wolf, and then Okami means God.
Okay.
The character you play is a wolf god.
Okay.
Amaterasu.
So they don't call it Okami?
No, it's just called Okami.
But you play as an Okami.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, I didn't know that about that game.
Fun facts. Ni no Kuni is another one, actually, that I wanted to mention, because Ni no Kuni literally translates to another world.
Uh-huh.
And that's the whole idea of the game, is you're going to this other world. And I just think it's cute.
So I wondered why they didn't translate that name.
I do too.
There's a game called Another World.
Oh.
So now that you tell me that makes sense that they didn't translate it.
Gotcha. Huh.
I played it on PC. I think it's an old PC game.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like Flashback.
Oh, Flashback is a great game.
That's a great name.
Yeah. Great game, great name.
So that one I did some research on. I wanna do an episode about that game. Okay. The people behind it. If people are interested, actually. So our last episode, previous episode, we did all that research and talked about some stuff that I thought was pretty exciting. But we would love to hear some feedback on which episodes you guys like. We have some that are more of a casual rant, and then we have some that we put time and effort into researching, and a pretty concise record of something in the video game
industry,
yes.
world.
So yeah, if anyone has an opinion on which they liked more, which they want to hear more of, or any feedback at all, go ahead, email us, Twitter. We got a Facebook page now. We're putting these on YouTube, so go ahead and comment if you want.
Yep. Twitter, VG Compendium, email, vgcompendium@gmail.com. Facebook right now doesn't have a short link, but if you go to Facebook and just search for Video Game Compendium, we're one of the first ones.
We're in there.
And YouTube, actually, we now show up in the search results. So,
hey, victory!
Yeah, so you can find us at any of those places, and let us know what you think, or if we're doing a shit job, or if you hate my voice, or you love Ian's deep masculine voice. Just let us know.
Yes.
All right. I am bread. Boop. I'm 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 bread.